What's up, everybody? I want to go ahead and do this small live chat with you guys. Completely beat from the Mayweather-McGregor fight, to be honest. Just tired. It was a very physically and mentally draining week, to be honest. And mentally, not really wanting to do any work, but I thought I'd stop in with you guys and chat with you a little bit about how the fight went, how that fight week experience was, and then just talk a few little things with you guys if you have any questions in terms of the fight. I want to show you something that they gave us for the fight, the credentials. This is what the credential looked like right here for the fight. I was extremely surprised that I got a floor seat on here. As you can see, it's the green Mayweather-McGregor. They got a microchip on the back. A lot of things were done differently for this fight, but I was surprised that I got a floor seat, because for Mayweather-Pacquiao, I was not in the arena, and I was extremely bummed out. I thought I should have been in the arena, because Fight Hub as a whole put in a whole lot of work for that fight, and we got a shit ton of traffic. So coming into this, you know, I wasn't very sure if I was going to get a floor seat credential. I knew I was going to be in the arena because they had already told me, Showtime, that I would be in the arena. So when when I saw the green credential, I was like, what? And I said it out loud, and the credential guy looked at me. He's like, oh, wait, is this the wrong credential? And I was like, no, that's the right one, that's the right one. But I had seen other credentials that had said floor something on the part of the credential. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, at least I'll be in the arena, not like super high up, because a lot of people got super high up. So I thought, okay, at least I'll be in the arena, like on the mid bowl. You know, I'll still be able to get a good view of the fight. And then they tell me, like, no, dude, you're on the floor right next to like the big boys, like New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Yahoo, all those guys. So I go there and I'm just like, fuck, dude, are you serious? Oh shit. So I was lucky because there was a lot of people that applied credentials for this fight. A lot of people, damn, I look like shit, man. I'm fucking tired. Where's the light when you need it? A lot of people got put up on the upper bowl. MMA fighting. Ariel was put up in the upper bowl. Luke Thomas, Robin Black. A lot of people that are usually ringside for fights got sent up to the upper bowl, and I was one of the few digital channels that was on the floor. I think it was me, Fight Hype I saw there. That's it in terms of digital, like YouTube channel wise. I don't think anybody else got put on the floor. And then, you know, just the regulars that were on the floor. So with that, I just want to give you some, I guess, thoughts now that we're 3 days removed from the fight, in terms of the experience of this fight compared to the other big events that I've had a chance to cover and experience. Atmosphere. I felt that the fight week was weird up until Thursday. It was devoid of atmosphere. There wasn't it didn't feel like a big fight up until Thursday night, when I was chilling at the MGM Grand and people started finally coming in. And then it started, I remember I looked at Tino and I told him, okay, now it's starting to feel like a big fight, man. And then Friday, of course, the weigh-in, we went and interviewed a bunch of fans, but I shit you not, I remember waking up Friday at like 8 in the morning, and we already heard just a ton of Irish fans already cheering and going crazy. And this was like at 8:30 in the morning. They were already lining up for the weigh-in. And I remember I looked at Matt, who's our videographer over here at Fight Hub, one of our videographers, and I gave him this look, and he was like, fuck, man, are those the Irish guys? And I'm like, yeah, man, they're here finally. So we go to the weigh-in, and the weigh-in is something that I think will always stick with me. It was a crazy atmosphere, crazy energy, crazy experience. these Irish fans are the best freaking fans in the world, man, bar none. Now I know why they got fans of the European tournament, because these guys are funny. They like to party, positive vibes, good energy. We must have done like 40 fan interviews that Friday for this weigh-in, and they were all just crazy funny. A majority of them were pissed drunk, but I think that's what added to it. So we're there at the weigh-in. The weigh-in starts at 3, mind you, so they were already lining up for the weigh-in like at 8:30, and it starts at 3, and they didn't open the doors till 11. The weigh-in, the arena was filled up, packed, a lot of energy. But when Mayweather and McGregor finally weighed in, and then after that, I remember I had to rush out the arena to go ahead and upload the weigh-in. And it was crazy because I go up 2 flights of stairs, and I just hear this fucking loud echo of just all these guys just chanting. And I'm on like an upper terrace, so I go and I look over, and it's just a sea of fucking Irish fans. Just literally filling up the whole entire lobby of the T-Mobile. There must have been about like 300-400 of them, just a sea of them. And security's like freaking the fuck out because they're all there, all mobbed up, like chanting and cheering. And security's trying to tell them to leave, and they're not leaving. They're just chanting and cheering, chanting and cheering. It was a crazy scene. I posted up a clip on my Instagram of the fans, but that doesn't give it justice. There's literally like 400 people there, and then people still coming in from the escalators. And then finally, when they started moving people out of the arena, there's still just a shit ton of people all pulled up and just chanting and singing, chanting and singing. And that was crazy, man. I've never seen anything like that. I know this was my first Conor McGregor fight that I've seen live in person, so I'm sure, you know, the MMA guys are accustomed to that. Us on this side of the boxing side, not so much. I think the closest we've ever come to that has been with Ricky Hatton, and unfortunately I never had a chance to cover a Ricky Hatton fight, so I don't know how those atmospheres were, but from what I've heard from people, they were crazy. They were a lot crazier than the McGregor ones. With that said, the day of the weigh-in, when comparing it to other events, there's only one other weigh-in that I could think of off the top of my head that comes to mind that had the same level, if not a little bit better, of an atmosphere. And that weigh-in was the Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather weigh-in, actually. That one was crazy. This one was loud, but that one was non-stop loud. No Del Taco this time, man. No Del Taco this time. The Del Taco fucked us up, bro. But yeah, I would say the weigh-in for the Canelo Mayweather was a bit. It just had much more energy. It was more filled up, I think. They filled up the whole entire MGM, and it was non-stop cheering from the moment we got in. This one, it was subdued for a little bit, and then cheering started, but it wasn't like, it just, I can't compare it. It wasn't as loud as the Canelo Mayweather one. Now, going to fight night, in terms of atmosphere, it was nothing like the weigh-in. The atmosphere was way lower on fight night compared to other big-time fights. I had told some MMA people, they asked me like, hey, what do you think? You know, do you think the atmosphere is going to be good? And I told them, you know, honestly, I had a friend that went to the Conor McGregor fight in New York. He told me that atmosphere sucked because they priced the tickets so high. And I have a feeling this atmosphere on this fight night is going to be similar to the atmosphere for the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight night atmosphere sucked. It was terrible. And the reason why is because even though they didn't price the tickets as much as this McGregor-Mayweather fight, the tickets were still pretty high for that fight. So a lot of the people that showed up weren't real hardcore fans. They were people that just wanted to show up, be at a big event, and say they were at a big event. And the same thing happened with this fight. You had a lot of people there that were casuals and people that just wanted to say, hey, I was at this Mayweather-McGregor event, you know, I'm here. And it took away a lot of the atmosphere from other fights that are, I want to say, priced a lot lower than what they are. But, you know, more power to them. You know, if we all had a chance to go ahead and make that kind of money, we're gonna go ahead and do it. But the atmosphere, fight night atmosphere, did suffer because of that. I felt there was a lot of Irish fans that couldn't go into the fight because of how much the tickets were priced. And I also read a story too that a lot of Irish fans were kind of shit out of luck in terms of watching the fight, because the only two places in Vegas that were Irish bars that were showing it were charging like $165 to see the closed circuit. Even though I think that's a deal, because one of the bars had it for $165 closed circuit, but it was all you can drink. So I think that's more than worth it. In terms of the fight, I told an MMA guy while in the elevator. He asked me, hey, what do you think of the fight? I'm not going to say his name. He's a well-known MMA personality. I just don't want to beef with him. But I do want to say this. He asked me, hey, well, what do you think is going to happen in the fight? And I told him there's going to be a lot of crying grown men tonight. A lot of grown crying Irishmen. I think Mayweather's going to stop him. And he gave me this look like I was crazy and said, you don't know Conor the way I do. You haven't studied him the way I do. You don't know the man the way I do. He's truly someone special. And I'm like, I'm not saying he's not special, you know, but Mayweather's gonna fuck him up, you know. It's just completely different. Like, Mayweather's gonna stop him. And he pretty much, you know, went on about how special of an athlete Conor is, which he is. He is truly he's an elite level athlete, and he is a special athlete, special person, to be able to talk his way into a fight like this and have so many people believe that he was gonna beat someone like Floyd Mayweather. So he tells me his whole spiel, and I'm like, okay. Then he looks at my credential and starts asking me like, well, what do you do? You know, and I'll tell him I do everything. I didn't feel like telling him like, oh, I'm with Fight Hub, I'm on the floor, blah blah blah. So I tell him, I'm gonna find you after the fight. I'm gonna ask you, what do you think about what happened? He's like, yeah, please find me. So he goes off. I go. Fight happens. And it's funny, I don't see him the whole time. And then right when the T-Mobile Arena staff is going to kick us out, I see him. And for like 2 seconds I thought, all right, should you tell him something, or should you just let it go? And I'm like, nah, just let it go. Don't be a dick, dude. And then I thought like, nah, fuck nah. Like, fucking tell him what's up, dude. Like, you know, like, talk to him, because he was so adamant in the way he responded to me. Kind of came off condescending to me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna talk to him. So he's like walking behind me, all right, and I'm on one of the risers, and I'm editing a video, and then I'm like, yo, what'd you think, man? And he looks at me, and I could tell, like, for a second he's thinking like, oh, this fucking guy. So so he's like, well, what'd you think? And I'm like, honestly? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I honestly think 3 things about the fight. And this is what I've been telling a lot of people during the fight and after the fight, and even my friends. And I have a lot of friends that are casual boxing fans. I have a lot of friends. I think I have a lot more friends that are MMA fans, that follow MMA a lot more. Like me and maybe like 3 others are the real like hardcore boxing guys. Even though I follow MMA, though I'll be honest, over the years I've become more casual in my coverage, because there's just so many goddamn MMA events that they put on that it's impossible for me to know everything that's going on top of all the boxing shit that I gotta do. So this is what I told him. He said, what'd you think about the fight? And I'm like, honestly, you want to know? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I think Floyd carried him. He showed his age, and Floyd fought to the level of his competition. He fucking, oh my God, you haven't learned anything then. You haven't learned anything then. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you serious? And he's like, yeah, you haven't learned anything. That's nothing to do with it. Conor's a really special athlete. Look, you know, look how he did against Floyd Mayweather. He went in 10 rounds. And I was like, whoa. Relax, dude. Let me explain why I'm saying that. And he's like, why? And I'm like, look, Floyd looked 40, man. He looked his age. He didn't move the way he did. His accuracy was terrible. His reflexes weren't like they were even in the Berto fight. When have you seen Floyd? Okay, when Floyd got hit with the uppercut in the I think in the first round, when have you seen Floyd miss a straight cross? He doesn't miss those a lot. He's a fairly accurate guy. I think he's the most accurate fighter that they've tracked, even though I don't know how that fits in with Lomachenko and Rigondeaux, if it's skewed or not. So I told him that, and then I told him too, like, yo, like, Floyd didn't throw shit for 3 rounds. He carried him. He wasn't throwing anything. That's why he did so well. The other thing too, fighting to the level competition. And I could have worded it better, but this is what I meant to say when I said that. Floyd fought the way he fought because he knew there was very little risk to fight the way that he fought. Hold on, let me do something real quick, man. All right, let me tell you guys something too. Like, don't be posting racial terms and stuff like that, man. That's not cool, dude. So I'm gonna go ahead and block this guy. Hopefully it blocked. But so what I meant with that Floyd fought to this level competition. He did things that he wouldn't do if he fought a guy like Pacquiao or Keith Thurman, Errol Spence. He would never walk towards guys like that because he couldn't get away with it. Just, it's too much of a risk reward with that. With Conor, he knew there was a skill discrepancy and that he could fight that way. He could fight coming forward and he can get away with it. So that's what I meant. So I told him that, and he was just like, you haven't learned anything. You really haven't learned anything. In my head, I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And then he was going to go like, have you even studied MMA? And it was about to come out of his mouth, and I had to stop him. And I had to go, yo, look, dude, I wrestled my whole entire life. From wrestling, I went and studied jiu-jitsu for 5 years. From jiu-jitsu, I went and studied boxing for the last 7 years, and I'm still studying boxing. Like, don't even go ahead and infer, have I even learned anything or studied? Like, I know what's up, dude. And he just kind of like gave me this look and said, and then he walked off. And then I thought, man, dude, this guy is just so full of himself. And then I started hearing from my other people that a lot of the MMA guys were saying something similar. Here's my take on it. I give Conor McGregor props, man. I give him props for being in there, for taking the challenge, for lasting 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. It bugs a lot of boxing guys that he lasted 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. Even though I honestly think, and I think if he really wanted to and he fought the way he did, he could have ended the fight a lot earlier. No, and I'm not ignorant. I studied a lot of stuff, talked to a lot of trainers, been to a lot of gyms, and yeah, you know, it's here's the other argument too. The stat that came out that McGregor landed more punches than Manny Pacquiao and the other fighters that fought Floyd. Of course he's gonna land a lot more punches when he's walking forward. Duh. If Floyd Mayweather fought Pacquiao the way he fought Conor McGregor, Manny Pacquiao would have landed a hell of a lot of more punches. If he fought Andre Berto that way, same damn thing. That's why he landed so many punches. And the other thing too, these punches that Conor landed, you gotta count that they were a lot of pitter-pat punches. And you know, this was another thing that kind of made me think like, damn, man, he's a lot smarter than what people are giving Conor credit for. A lot of those punches that Conor McGregor was throwing were point punches. They were pitter-pat punches, but they were point punches. Punches meant to sway the judges to look, hey, you know, Conor was a lot busier than Floyd that round. Floyd only landed like 5 punches, but look at how many punches Conor landed that round. Even though, to me, they weren't effective punches, they weren't power punches, they were still point punches. Punches meant to sway the judges. If you see someone like a Joe Calzaghe fought that way. Great super middleweight champion. He would just throw all these pitter-pat punches, but they would land, and the volume landed would so overwhelm what the other guy did that the judges had to give it to Joe Calzaghe. That promoter dead stuff, I don't believe it, man. I think it's fake news. So back to what I was saying. So people were saying like, well, you know, look at the first 3 rounds. Floyd Mayweather didn't throw any punches those first 3 rounds. And he fought Conor McGregor completely different than any other opponent, because I feel that he knew the risk reward for doing so. He could take that risk and know that if he did get in danger, he could revert back to his defensive style and not fight like that. But the moment he tasted his power, in which Conor said many, many times that he only needed to land 1 punch, and he landed that 1 punch, and Floyd kind of just looked at him and smiled and kept walking forward. I think at that point Floyd knew, okay, I can fight this guy this way. So I think that stat is very skewed in terms of when you actually look about the effectiveness of punches. When Manny was throwing punches at Floyd Mayweather, they were with bad intentions. When Canelo was throwing punches against Floyd Mayweather, they were with extremely bad intentions. And when Conor was throwing these punches, some, of course, were with bad intentions. But also, too, a lot of the punches he were throwing weren't effective punches. They were a lot of point punches, a lot of arm shot, pitter-pat punches. Which is a weird thing, because in MMA, I've noticed that Conor McGregor gets full extension on his punches. And when he was in there boxing against Floyd, I just kind of thought like, man, you know, Conor, and I've seen a lot of Conor's fights, he gets such great extension on his punches, but he's in there and he's not getting a full extension on his punches. And I'm like, man, what's going on here? Is it because the stance is not as wide? He made his feet come a little bit closer together, and he's not able to get full extension on his punches. So it's a weird thing, a weird observation that I made that I kind of made me scratch my head and think like, man, you know, what's going on here? But with that, I can't have, like, I'm so high right now on Conor McGregor, dude. The guy's a boss. Like, much props to him, man. He deserves all the credit in the world for going into a fight that ended up being a lot better than what people expected. I honestly felt, not going to lie, that Floyd was going to knock him out in 48 rounds. I thought he was going to go in there and just absolutely just blitz him. And he didn't. You know, Conor made a good account of himself, an extremely good account of himself. And I think that he should be given all the credit in the world for doing what he did, for stepping up to the challenge, for daring to be great, for having the balls to go in there and do that, for being a fighter that fights, that doesn't bitch about catch weights, that'll go into rematches and not bitch about catch weights, that'll fight guys when he needs to fight them, not wait 2 years, 3 years to fight a guy. This dude is an example and should serve as an example to other fighters of what to do. The right way to do things. Not wait 5 years to fight someone. Not wait 3 years to fight someone. Not complain about catch weights. Just go in there, fight guys, and if you've trained hard and you got the skills, you're going to come up and end up with the victory. And I think those are many of the reasons why Conor McGregor is so popular, on top of this aura, this charisma that he has, that's God-given, that's the it factor that really puts him at the top, you know. And props to Conor. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got the Cotto fight playing in the background, and I haven't even watched it, but I just saw Cotto get hurt by a punch. So that's my take on the whole event. The event as a whole, execution-wise, it's a very stressful week for us over at Fight Hub. Stressful because it was really hard to get stuff. In terms of, usually, you know, it's easy to get a hold of athletes to get interviews. They're usually around. This time, everybody was freaking everywhere. When these big fights happen, EMGM is the central location for press and for media. They stick us in a room at the back of the MGM, and everybody comes in, and we're able to get stuff. For the bigger fights like Mayweather-Pacquiao, they created this huge tent, and it was at the back of the arena, and everybody would go in there, but at least everybody was in the same vicinity. So for this fight, they didn't offer press rooms to the MGM. They offered press rooms to like New York, the Bellagio, the Vidara. So we were all kind of spread out, and then the media tent was way far off. It was like, I'm gonna say like a mile down the street, and where they have sometimes the EDM concerts. So it was extremely far. And I remember the first day I ever heard a fighter say, "Man, I don't want to go over there. That shit's way too far." And I thought like, damn, this week's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard getting people to come over here and do interviews. So on top of that, I think a lot of the preference was for the broadcasters. Digital wasn't able to get a lot of stuff in terms of one-on-one time with the fighters. We really had to hustle. I really had to go in there and fight to get into those scrums, to get footage with Conor and Floyd. No one-on-one opportunities with the main event fighters. One night I did think about going to Girl Collection to see if Floyd would be there, to see if we can go ahead and get him for an interview. And then we decided against it because we were just so goddamn tired. And then Ariel went over there and got it, and I was like, ah, shit, I should have went over there. But in terms of that, that's what made it extremely stressful event, an extremely stressful event. A lot more work than usual than the other fights, but hey, it was the biggest fight that they put on. I'm hearing 6.6 or 6.5 million pay-per-view buys, which is fucking insane, to be honest. It's crazy. That shows you the star power of Conor McGregor, to be honest. It shows you that this fight tapped into the casual fan. It tapped into the whole entire UFC base, which MMA honestly has more fans than boxing. I'm not gonna lie, you know, has a lot more fans than boxing. And it was a fight that really captivated the casual fan, and you could see it in response to the pay-per-view buys. But also too, I read a thing in which it was the most pirated and illegally streamed event in history. So, dude, imagine if those 3 million people couldn't get those streams. This fight could have been 9 million buys almost. That would have been freaking crazy. So I am tired still. I'm mentally, physically exhausted from this fight week. We get a good little break, and then we go into the Chocolatito Superfly card on the 9th at the Forum, and then go to the Canelo versus Triple G fight coming up September 16th, that fight week. We will be in Vegas. We will be giving full fight coverage for both those fights. Just want to let you guys know too that we might be doing another live with a very well-known trainer, hopefully when I hear back in the next few hours. So just make sure you're tuned for that. And then if you guys have any comments right now or questions, let's go ahead and get the live chat portion of this started, and see what you guys been thinking about this fight. And I want to apologize too. I should have done this Monday. I should have actually done it Sunday, but we're just so goddamn exhausted that we wanted to get home and get some sleep, because there was a Canelo Triple G event that Monday, and all of us were dreading to go to that event because we were just completely tired. So let's go ahead and see what you guys have to say. Joel Miller. What's up, Joel? Thanks for watching and subscribing to us. Joel Miller says, I'm a huge MMA fan, but now I gotta say I respect boxing like a motherfucker. Can't wait for GG and Canelo. You know what? This fight, I was worried about this fight in terms of if it was a dud and it would suck. The casual fans and the MMA fans would be like, you know what? This is exactly why I fucking can't stand boxing. This shit right here, you know? And I thought it might have a negative impact on this upcoming Canelo GG fight and just overall boxing as a whole. From what I've heard from fans like you, from my friends, and from everybody else, everybody loved the fight. A good positive reception about the fight, and everybody's really high on boxing. So that's a good thing. I think now all the bad mouthing that a lot of the people did about this fight, I think they're kind of eating their words, because it actually, I think it was a good thing now this fight happened for boxing as a whole, because I really hope the people that tuned in for this fight will tune in for the Canelo Triple G fight. And if there's any of you MMA guys out there watching, listening right now that are, you know, interested in boxing, are kind of curious still, you're still on the fence, please, I implore you, watch that Canelo Triple G fight that's happening in 3 weeks. You will know why we're boxing fans, and you will thoroughly enjoy that fight. So I think overall, all the naysayers for this McGregor-Mayweather fight kind of got proven wrong to a point that it turned a lot of casual fans wanting to see a little bit more boxing. So now I'm scrolling through your guys' comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm just gonna pick randomly now. Let's see here. Do you think McGregor should box again? Philly Munoz. Philly, man, what's up, dude? Thanks for watching us live over here. Do I think McGregor should box again? I think he should, but I think he should put a little bit more time into training. Maybe take a year to really get grounded on the fundamentals. Excuse me. And if he does that, I think he'll show a better account of himself in terms of conditioning, because he did get tired after 4 or 5 rounds, which is weird because in the workouts we noticed that McGregor got very tired after the 3rd round during his workout. But I think he should. I think he'll make a lot more money in boxing. I think if he were to have another boxing fight, it'd get over 1 million buys, no doubt. And I think the logical step would be not to go into the Malignaggi fight right away. Go and fight some bums, honestly. Fight some decent guys. Build up that record, and then go into the Malignaggi fight. I think the Malignaggi fight makes sense. Honestly speaking, I give Conor a lot of advantages in that fight against Malignaggi. And if the line's good enough, I could see Conor McGregor winning that fight, to be honest, against Paulie Malignaggi. So I think that fight does make sense, but keep having Conor stay active, have him focus on boxing, and have him fight a few bumps to kind of pad the record so he's not coming in with an 0-1. Because, okay, if he goes into this Malignaggi fight right away, and if he gets his ass kicked, or even if he loses too, people are going to be like, okay, this guy can't box, dude. Like, what the heck? So I think it'd be smart of him to fight a few other guys and then go into the Malignaggi fight. But I think Dana wants him to go back to MMA. Do I think it's a smart thing for him to go back into MMA? I think it is, but I think he has a future in boxing. So hold on, let me moderate a few of these people saying dumb stuff here. So let's see here. What else are you guys saying? Ted at Fight Up TV. Conor should keep doing boxing. Fuck the haters. I agree, man. I agree. I told you your house affects your life. 29. I have no clue what that means. Alright. Let's see here. I'm scrolling up through your guys' comments. And like I said, this is the fan Q&A portion of this. So go ahead and send us your comments, your questions. Let me know what you're thinking about this fight. MMA fights that are coming up. Should Conor go immediately into a fight with Khabib? Should he wait for the winner of Ferguson and Kevin Lee? Should he box again? On the boxing side of things, let me know what you thought about the fight. And what do you think about the fights that are scheduled for the rest of the year, too, as well. Conor, at 175 pounds, hits like a 130-pounder. I think he hits hard. Conor has power. It's just the technique, you know. He didn't sit on his punches. It was really weird. He didn't get full extension on his punches, so... it was just a really strange thing. Joe Blogs. Hey Marcos, like your interviews and your interview channel, and I'm a subscriber to your channel. Can I ask one thing? Why do Seconds Out not get any access to the Mayweather fights? I don't know. You ask them. I honestly don't know why. Alright. Adrian H. Break it down. Triple G versus Canelo. Please, Marcos, tell us. I'm still, damn, that's a tough fight, man. So I'm still on the fence as to who's going to win the fight. I think if Gennady boxes, uses his jab, is very smart, tightens his defense, he should win and win very handedly against Canelo. But if he goes in there and tries to knock Canelo out, just plodding forward, just trying to get those big punches in, he's going to have a very, very hard night's worth of work. This is a bad style, I think, for both fighters. And I think it's skewed a little bit more towards Canelo in terms of he's going to just be waiting and picking off Gennady a lot. And that might end up scoring him the win because he's picking all these punches off of Gennady. Now, if Canelo, if he's able to... Here's the question. Here's what's going to determine the fight. if Canelo can take Gennady's punch, if he can take his punch and he doesn't feel threatened by Gennady's punch, it's going to be a very long night for Gennady. You're going to see a Canelo that's going to come forward, that's going to try to push Gennady Golovkin back, that's going to be willing to trade punches with Gennady Golovkin, and he's going to be countering. And look for the counters, not to the dome, but to the body. I'm telling you, that's going to be a big key for Canelo in this fight. So, you know, is it a 50-50 fight? Absolutely. I think we'll see how the fight's going to turn out that very first 3 rounds of the fight. Because the first round, they're going to feel each other out. The second round, they're going to start getting a little loose. And the third round, I think, is when they're going to start trying to implement their game plans in the fight. Let's see here. What else are you guys saying in terms of question? I'm scrolling through here. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading your guys' comments. Wickedy split. Marcos, are you from LA? Yes, I am. McGregor versus DS3. Who wins? Here's another important thing that I want to say about this that no one's touched upon, and that I thought immediately after the Mayweather-McGregor fight. I think McGregor is going to gain so much confidence from this fight, from knowing that he went 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. So much freaking confidence that when he goes back into the octagon, he's going to think he's so much more above these guys in terms of his mentality and in terms of his confidence and his skills. This dude went 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. He's going to go in there, fight any other fighter at 155 pounds, and he's going to be like, you know what? You can't touch me. I went 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. Who are you? What are you going to do against me? And I think that confidence is going to serve him extremely well going forward. That's a big confidence booster for any fighter. Going up against a fighter at that much of an elite level and knowing you did the business with them, you landed punches with them, he's going to have that edge against a lot of people now coming into fights going in at the inside the octagon. And yeah, I know he's a 40-year-old, but still, it's Floyd Mayweather, man. A 40-year-old Floyd Mayweather beats a lot of people still. Let's see here. These guys will also not be intimidated by him anymore. What do you mean? Not intimidated by Conor, or I think is that what you're getting at? Let me know. I like corn dogs too, and turtles. Okay, let's see here. What else are you guys saying? Marcos, do you think there will be a Diaz trilogy up there? Yes, I think that there will be a Diaz trilogy. It's the only fight that makes sense money-wise for Conor. I think at this point he's at a place where he only wants to take fights that are the biggest fight financially. And who else could he fight outside of Diaz that's going to give him a huge payday? Khabib? It's not going to do well here. If he fights Khabib in Russia, it'll do well in Russia, but not over here. And you're concerned with the American market and how many pay-per buys that's going to get. Well, okay, let's see. He fights the winner of Ferguson and Kevin Lee. Those guys don't have big names, you know. They're fucking tough fights for Conor, but they don't have big names. The only guy that makes sense, big money-wise, for Conor is Nate. It's just going to do big business, and I think that that's the most logical for Conor McGregor to go at this point. Let's see here. What else are you guys saying? All right. Joe Blogs. Marcos, don't you agree that Canelo learning English and actually speaking it in interviews would make him a bigger global star? I've been saying this for years, man, for a very long time, that he needs to learn English if he wants to really be a bigger star. And he is learning English. It's just he's not talking much English in his interviews. He understands English. So if you were to ask him a question, he understands what the hell you're saying, but he's just hasn't spoke English. You know, and on top of that, I think Gennady Golovkin should learn more English comprehension. You know, if he had a better grasp of the language, I think he'd be able to display his personality a little bit more. Let's see here. What else are you guys saying? Once again, thank you guys for tuning in as we're discussing not only this Mayweather-McGregor fight, but other stuff that's going on. Cain Velasquez versus Anthony Joshua. Come on, man. Joshua's a beast, bro. That'd be no contest. And I freaking love Cain Velasquez. All right. Puppeteer Vlogs. What's your favorite animal? I like turtles. There you go. Let's see here. 5 of 6 Galas's last opponents took dives. I don't think so. I think Willie Monroe is fighting what's-his-face, right? Billy Joe Saunders. And I actually favor Monroe in that fight against Saunders. Let's see here. UFC guys won't be intimidated by Conor anymore. His mental warfare won't work anymore either. He ate his words again. You know, I don't know. Because, you know, boxing is a completely different beast than MMA, you know? It's completely different. But, you know, you could be right. Puppeteer Vlogs. No problem, man. No problem. Info_. Marcos, do you think GGG will sell out for Canelo fight and take retirement money instead? I don't think so, man. I think he really wants to win this fight. And I think, you know, any fighter in that position that's undefeated, that's still in their prime, they don't like losing. None of these guys like losing, guys. So I think, you know, for people to say like, hey, you know, he's just doing it for money and throwing the fight, I like to think that they don't think like that. I know there is instances where fighters do take fights and they know they're going to get their asses kicked. They still think they can win, but they know also they're going to get their asses kicked too. And that they ask for a big amount of money. And that's why they're asking it, because they know that potentially they can get their ass kicked really bad. But in terms of Gennady, I'd like to think that he really wants to win this fight, you know. Even though Gennady looks a little thick to me at this point in the videos I've seen him in the training. Looks like he put on some muscle, so I don't know if that's going to be good or bad in this fight. Boxing KO comments, thank you for sharing. No, thank you guys for watching. Do I have the Fight app? I've never even heard of the Fight app. Let me know what it is. Do you cringe? Yes, I do. Rubio took a dive. Wave took a dive. Gale took a dive. Stevens took a dive. Brooke took a dive. No, that's not true, man. Brooke got his freaking eye socket busted open. How can you take a dive if you get your eye socket broken? Anybody would have done that in that position. Stevens got punched to death. Remember that face he made when he got that punch? He's getting the shit beat out of him. Gil got the shit beat out of him. That's not taking a dive. Same with Wade. Wade got the shit beat out of him. He felt this punch and he was like, fuck this. Rubio just wanted out. So with Rubio, I'll agree with you. Rubio felt that power and he's like, fuck this. You guys aren't paying me enough to do this shit. Nuh-uh. So I'll give you that one. Very true, except Mac Holloway, that guy has a chin. Yeah, they already fought too. That'd be an interesting fight also for Max to want to get that win back on his record. GGG by split decision. I've been telling people this. I think the fight, Canelo and Triple G, is going to end in a split decision because when you look at it historically speaking, when you have a very good counterpuncher going up against a guy who's an extremely aggressive fighter, you always get these wacky fucking scorecards. And you look at it over the course of history, you look at it when Canelo fought Erislandy Lara, wacky freaking scorecards. You look at Chavez, Pernell Whitaker, wacky freaking scorecards. Pernell Whitaker against Oscar De La Hoya, wacky freaking scorecard. So you always get wacky scorecards when you have a counterpuncher going up against an aggressive fighter. Wickety split. Marcos, when you interviewed Ronda Rousey a long time ago when she was a champ, were you nervous? I would have been because she was my all-time crush. Nah, man. I'm trying to remember back to it. I don't get nervous anymore, to be honest, when I interview people. It's just I've been doing it for so long. It's just I look at it as I'm having a conversation with them. So yeah, I don't get nervous, man. It was a funny interview that I did with Ronda though. Can a Muay Thai fighter make it as a boxer? That sore ring, the guy that beat Chocolatito, Rong Vin Sai, he was a Muay Thai fighter also, and he's having success as a boxer. So yeah, I guess they can. Let's see here. Who is the white guy at the MGM with the afro? That guy is shit. He has like a high up position with the MGM. Fuck. I don't know exactly what he does, but he reminds me of like he's living in the wrong fucking time. That guy should be living in like the 1800s because he looks like fucking Beethoven, to be honest. Let's see here. What do you think of Jose Aldo training with Robert Garcia? I think it's great. I think it's only going to do him more credit in there in terms of his MMA career. I've seen the clips. He's not bad, but I think it's only going to do him better. Chavez Jr. coming back. They said he's coming back by the end of the year. And yeah, I think his following dropped big time. Nolan Austin. This is Nolan Austin's pound for pound list. Number 1, he has Andre Ward. Number 2, he has Keith Thurman. Number 2, he has Terrence Crawford. Number 3, he has Keith Thurman. It's a very good pound for pound list. And I would agree. Why do you think Porter pulled out of the undercard? I heard that he had a death in the family and that he had to attend to that and it was screwing up with his training, so he wanted to go ahead and take care of that kind of business. So that's why he pulled out of the card. Condolences to the Porter family, though, about their loss, man. It's an unfortunate thing. Let's see here. Joe Blogs, once more. Getting a lot of questions in, Joe. Do you think the May-Mac fight will have alerted UFC fighters to what they should be getting in regards to pay? Yeah, this opens a whole fucking slew of things when it comes to that, man. You think Conor McGregor is going to come back and be happy with earning $3 to $5 million in these fights? Fuck no. Get the fuck out of here. Conor McGregor in his next UFC fight is going to be fucking dicking those guys around and be like, you know what? This is my minimum. And he's going to say something like fucking 20 million or some shit like that. And he's going to be like, this is my minimum. I want more of a pay-per-view upside. I want a fucking cut into the company. They're you know, put in a position that normally any other fighter would not put in. I think the UFC will be extremely staunch with other fighters not named Conor McGregor trying to get this stuff because they're going to be like, you know what? Well, Conor, we're able to give him these things because look at the numbers that Conor's giving us. Look at the amount of business Conor's doing. He can do this stuff. You sell pay-per-views, get a big following, do the numbers Conor's doing, and then you can get these paydays. But I think a lot of them are going to start, you know, saying, hey, man, I need to get paid more. And rightfully they should. You know, they're risking their lives every time they step inside the octagon. It's not a fun job. You know, it's a very dangerous job, and they should be making a hell of a lot more money, man. All right, reading your comments here. Appreciate you guys tuning in and being with us. Kama Guy training with Robert Garcia too? I don't know. Is he? I'm not. Did he post a video of him training at Robert's gym? I'm not sure. Let's see here. What kind of gel do you use in your hair? I use fiber. I got super sunburned yesterday. Fucking dying right now. Conor's price definitely went up. Let's see here. Richard Sturm. Yeah, that's the name of that guy. Irish Tramp has a prediction. How do you feel that I just confirmed this, which I shouldn't confirm? Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson is happening 2017. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and log off now. Just wanted to get a few things out there, and also want to thank you guys that viewed into our coverage over the week for the Mayweather-McGregor fight. I met a ton of fans out there that said, you know, you guys love our content, and I want to say also, dude, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate the support you've shown us over the years, the support you've shown us in the build-up to this Mayweather versus McGregor fight. If you guys ever see me on the streets at these events, please come up, introduce yourselves, because I really am grateful for you guys, for the support you guys give us, and sticking around with us and choosing to watch us and our content. It really means a lot to me, man. It means the world to me. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you guys supporting, subscribing, tell you guys also, please tell your friends that they should subscribe to our channel, because we have a great fucking channel. We put on a lot of great content. Keep watching. We're going to have a lot of content coming your way in the next few weeks. Full fight coverage, Canelo Golovkin. Full fight coverage, Superfly. We're going to have some MMA guys on the channel coming up as well. So thank you guys so much. Go ahead and give me a follow if you guys aren't following me on social media at Hey, it's Marcos V on the Instagrams, on the Twitters. If you guys haven't followed us on our Instagram and Twitter via Fight Hub at Fight Hub TV on both those platforms. And thank you guys so much, man. I really do mean it when I say thank you guys for the support over the years, the support for the build-up to this fight. I want to say especially a special thank you to all the MMA guys, the MMA subscribers that subscribe to our channel during the build-up to this Mayweather versus McGregor fight. I thank you guys so much as well. I'm an MMA guy. I fucking love MMA. I started this channel in the very beginning as an MMA channel, and I transitioned over to boxing, but I still love MMA, and I like watching MMA. I'm a big fan of MMA, so please, what I want to tell you guys is stay subscribed and check out some of the boxing stuff, man. Become a fan of combat sports, not just a fan of MMA, of combat sports. Become a fan of boxing. Become a fan of kickboxing. I just love a good fucking scrap. If there's a good fight on, I will watch because I just like fights. And I hope you guys do too as well. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It's going to end this live Q&A. Like I mentioned, look out for another live Q&A session either today, tonight, or tomorrow at a gym in LA. I can't say who it is, but it's the most well-known fucking trainer in boxing. That's all I can say. All right, guys. See you all later. Have a good rest of your week. Be safe. And I will see you guys later. Thank you.